Hey YouTubers, good morning, Robb Moffett. Today we're going to have some financial advice from somebody from 100 years ago. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because, first of all, it's excellent advice. And number two, I was on somebody's financial channel just the other day, and they were giving the same exact advice that was being given out 100 years ago. So it's not that somebody just copying something from a long time ago. It's because the advice is still good and people are still profiting by it. This fellow right here, you may not know him. A lot of people don't. He's Harold Lloyd. With the silent film star comedians, there were three giants. There was Charlie Chaplin, Buster Keaton, who was my favorite, and this guy, Harold Lloyd. He was formidable. He made probably more movies than Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton combined. But when he started out, he had a dime to his name. He came to the city, didn't know anybody, and he started out from nothing. And at the end of his career, he gave some advice. He said that the reason he was successful, or the main reason he was successful, was because he had complete control over his work. And if somebody gave him a hard time, he had enough money, he could just get up and leave for a year, whatever. Also, because he had enough money, he could control what he was producing, and he didn't have to go in debt. So he was able to control his own destiny, his own future. And he was able to do this because from the very beginning, when he started out, if he had a job that was paying $60 a week, he'd pretend he was only making 40. He'd put the other 20 away. When he got more money, he'd do the same thing. When he was working with the studios, if he was making $200 a film, he would pretend he was only making 100. So he constantly lived below his income and kept his expenses low. And little by little, he was able to increase his income. And he was his own man. The studios couldn't tell him what to do. He had control over everything. And he became very wealthy. And it's excellent advice. And even though it's over 100 years old, it's still, there's people out there doing it today. Now, Harold Lloyd was a great comedian. There's another great comedian, Jay Leno. When Harold Lloyd died in 1977, as of today, I checked, his net worth is worth $70 million. This guy, who's still alive, thankfully, everybody likes Jay, he's worth about $450 million. When he got his job with The Tonight Show, he was a popular stand-up comedian. He continued being a stand-up comedian when he was working on The Tonight Show in the very beginning, because he didn't know how long the job and the TV Tonight Show was going to last, and he took all of his checks from The Tonight Show and just invested them. He never touched a penny of the money he made from The Tonight Show. He just lived off his income as a stand-up comedian. And as of today, Jay Leno, he's worth $450 million. So if you're making decent income where you're paying all your bills and you get more of a raise, or you have a better economic income opportunity and you start making more money, don't increase your expenses. Put that money aside. That's wonderful advice for anybody from 100 years ago up to today. And I recommend you go check out some of Harold Lloyd's movies. Safety Last is probably the best one, I think. So, guys, that's my tip for today. Advice from 100 years ago from Harold Lloyd. That's how he was able to be successful, by just saving his money and lowering his expenses as his income grew. All right, guys, hope you like this tip. It was something helpful. And if you don't know who Harold Lloyd was, or Buster Keaton, you go check him out. Don't care that much for Chaplin. But yeah, go check out Harold Lloyd's Safety Last and Buster Keaton's little movie, The Cook. The Cook is amazing. They're both on YouTube. All right, guys, take care. See you out there.